Just don't ask me how many diamonds I have.
All
Oops.
right, friends. How's it going? It's
We
Wednesday
gotta
night,
go rob a bank.
and we're gonna have D&D. So welcome, welcome. My name's Scott Wiley Hobbit, and you're watching my channel. And we're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition. We're playing Dragon of Icespire Peak, and let's go around the room and have some introductions, shall we? Let's start with Ezralyn. Tell us a little bit about you and/or your character.
Hi, I'm Kayla, also known as Miss Misery, and I am playing Ezralyn, the level 4 half-orc fighter. Um, she's we were talking about this the other day, and I kind of think it is like Ezralyn's just kind of like the wine mom of the group. She's just there, hungover, just hoping everybody just be quiet, just leaves her alone for a little while. And
Yeah.
I think that's a really good description of her. She's just kind of done. Keeping everybody alive is hard.
It's a lot of work. All right, very good. Awesome. How's about Jacob?
Hey, I'm Dave. Hey, Wilson on the social medias. I'm playing Jacob the Trickster Cleric. And Jacob is the child that makes the wine mom go crazy every 5 seconds.
One of a handful. Yeah. Speaking of which, let's meet Ethan.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris, WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. I play Ethan, the 887th level human diviner. I guess I would describe Ethan as a warm, caring friend, the type of person you'd like to kick back and drink a few chai lattes with and tell him all your world's problems.
Sorry. I couldn't hold it.
Nice. Well done. Ethan. Trying to decide who's more broken, Tanner or Null. I think Null is more broken, so I'm going to go with Tanner.
I have to follow that. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hello, I'm Carl. I'm Carnage on the Discord. I'm playing Tanner Seawalker, a very charming rogue swashbuckler who joined the party last week. I may have, due to some poor word choice and unfortunate natural one timing, I may have gotten off on the wrong foot with one or more members of the party, but I'm sure I will win them over soon.
Which never happens with swashbuckling rogues ever, so totally not on brand.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Last but certainly not least, Null.
Hey everybody, I'm Gideon. Gideon on the inside across most of the internet. I think I've changed it over by now. And I'm playing Null, who, as my brother has described her, is, what were the 3 words? Necromantic Jehovah's Witness. So,
Nice.
I'm gonna just carry on with that.
Go with it. Go with it, indeed. Nice. Van Felt will be unable to join us this evening, so should the need arise, I will be piloting Van Felt, who is a human archer, fighter, champion, awesome shooter of bow and arrow. And I am Wiley Hobbit. I'm Scott. My Twitch and Twitter is Wiley Hobbit, and you're hanging out on our Twitch channel, and we couldn't be happier. So last week we had quite a shocking episode. It was our first one back in a couple of months, and the White Dragon rained death upon Phandalin. The party was in the Stonehill Tavern, kind of getting to know the 3 new characters, Van Felt, Tanner, and Null, trying to decide whether or not they'd make a fine addition to the company of the Looming Eye. Ethan hadn't yet come down from his afternoon nap, and they were all suddenly interrupted by Townmaster Wester sticking his head in the door, yelling for whoever would hear him that they're here, they're here, they're here. And then he was skewered by a javelin and almost skewered to the door jamb. It was a pretty nasty javelin shot from what turned out to be a bugbear who is one of 7 bugbears that apparently, or at least appeared to be accompanying or supporting or helping a rather large white icy serpent that descended from the rainy thunderstorm skies and murdered 6 villagers where they stood soaking wet in the streets of Phandalin. The party was successful in beating back the attack of the bugbears and the white dragon. They did do a little damage, a little harm to the icy worm before he flew off to the north and the east. And that's where we'll pick up our story. You see, there are 7 bugbears dead in the street, in pools of bugbear blood and carnage. The town master has raced off to find the families of the stricken villagers as they stand frozen, slowly melting in the rain. For it is the month of flame rule, and that is comparable to July. So those frozen people are not going to remain frozen forever. And so we'll begin right there. I'll turn it over to the party.
Well, I'm taking out a small, roll of leather, unrolling it. You see a lot of strange tools. And I take out this really small pair of pliers, and I just start yanking the teeth out of the bugbears and putting them in a pouch as I go about doing this. Not really paying attention to anyone if they're watching me or not.
Are you doing it in the public street, or have you dragged them off somewhere?
Oh, I'm just doing it in the public street, no one cares about bugbears, right?
Okay.
Did we search them last week?
Yes, we did.
We did. Okay.
I think Ethan, after the dragon left, he would go to his normal spot table at the inn and sit down and wait for the serving staff to come over.
There's nobody in the inn. The bugbears tried to, apparently tried to take the inn. You managed to meet them out on the porch, but the patrons all scattered. A couple of the tables flipped over. There's, food and drink spilled here and there. The fire continues to roar in the hearth. It was such a cold, stormy, wet day that even for flame rule, there was a chill in the air. So there was a fire. So you're actually in there by yourself until Toblin Stonehill comes in out of breath, still clutching his sword in his hand. And he looks over at you. What are you doing?
Oh, I just woke up. I thought I might have some lunch or maybe an early dinner.
Give me just a minute. And he sheaths his long sword. He has a short sword on the other hip. And he unbuckles his belt with the scabbards, lays them across the bar, puts his apron on, kind of wipes his brow. And then he stops and just gets really quiet and stands at the end of the bar with his head in his hands.
I sense something's troubling you.
He looks up at you and his face is all red. He's got tears. Did you not see our friends were killed? Right where they stood in the street.
I suspect the townmaster's responsible for ordering that militia out there. A foolish decision.
Those aren't militia. That was Willie Chopper and Reg and Aaliyah. Those aren't militia. Those are Willie's the butcher's apprentice.
Well,
The bark skinners, Reg and Aaliyah, they do wood crafting. They Also, cut down firewood.
Well, their loss is unfortunate, and I'm sorry for that. We must make sure that the villagers stay away if the dragon returns.
Yeah, if anything, I wish they hadn't run out. Yeah, I mean, who can blame them? That's not like we're assailed by a dragon.
I think they were armed, which caused, I think, some unnecessary attention.
The one of them did have a meat cleaver, and two of them had axes. They were halflings, but they were not combat axes. They were wood chopping axes.
I think at this point I'd probably come in. Excuse me, are you the person that Toblin, right? You own this place.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. And he kind of wipes his eyes and pulls out a hanky and blows his nose and tries to compose himself. Yes, thank you for your bravery out there. What can I do for you? Are you okay?
I need salt.
Salt.
Yeah, I'm
yes.
fine.
We
I
have
just
didn't look like it went too well for you there for a bit. Glad you're okay. How much?
Had worse, but let's see. I just need a little bit. I can.
Yes, of course.
Once the bodies of your friends thaw, I can potentially. Well, it'll give us 10 days to find a way to revive them if possible.
Really? That could be done?
It's possible. I personally am more preventative than I am curative. But
See.
it is possible to preserve the remains in a way that would give us 10 days to find a way to bring them back. If anyone
I see.
knows how to do that.
I mean, I'm sure no one here could do that, but I mean, if there's a chance, we should take it, right? Let me get some salt.
I mean, all right.
How much do you need?
I hope they're thawed. A pinch for each person, so not much. I have the copper pieces, so.
Okay, yes, right away. He goes into the back and quickly returns with just a small, like a wooden bowl with plenty of salt in it. Here, take all you need.
Thank you. And I just walk back outside to, I just kind of look at the bugbear corpses and kick them a bit. And then I go on over to the actual people and make sure that if they're thawed, that they're laid out respectively, probably under like an awning or something.
They're all still standing in the street. There's a human male, early 20s. He's got a meat cleaver, apron. There are three. They look like probably farmers. They each have pitchforks. A man and a wife in their 30s, and a early teen, preteen male youth human, and then two halflings, one male, one female.
Is anyone else outside?
People have started to come out of homes.
Jacob's out there.
And I think the rest of the party's out there. Yeah.
Jacob's helping with the bodies and the bereaved.
As a rule, generally just keep things sort of organized. Getting the bodies out of the way, getting things clear. Just generally just being useful somehow.
If I see people moving bodies, I'll be like, you're going to want to be careful not to accidentally break off any body parts because these people might still be viable for rescue.
It's beyond my power.
I mean, I can help in a way, but it's possible if we find someone quick enough that we can save these people.
Okay, how do you need them moved? And where to?
It would be more helpful if we had a safe place inside and if they were thawed more.
Toblin has come out with you. No. Yes, we could keep them in the stables. There's all manner of straw and there's plenty of room, if that helps.
That'll do.
As we'll get people up and moving to.
Yeah, and a small group of folks have kind of gathered in the street, kind of shocked. Some are clearly quite upset. Some have come to be helpful. So you have no problem getting the help you need to do whatever you need to do with the bodies.
If there is like a crowd of people, I'm gonna be like, excuse me, townsfolk, does anyone know of a resurrectionist within the area?
They're all kind of looking at each other.
Or someone who can raise the dead. That's fairly advanced.
They're kind of shrugging. Not me. I don't know.
This changes things.
We could send for a cleric, a senior cleric down from the closest settlement to the closest temple.
How far away is that, do you think? We only have... Well, I mean, if I'm good, which I think I am, we have 10 days.
Due to these bodies.
I'm going to perform a ritual that will preserve them for a time. It basically will prevent them from decaying and prevent them from any necromantic magic from raising them from the dead. It's intended to intern people for more permanent rest, but it can also extend a time limit of saving someone.
All right, we'll get it done, and I'll talk to the town master, see if we can get some runners sent.
We have all of 10 days if we're to raise them. It's a fairly advanced spell work. I can't do that.
I'm close to figuring it out, but not in a way that these people would want. They wouldn't be themselves anymore. So, definitely need to find a cleric of some divine origin, somebody. A very resourceful or lucky old healer would be great. Isn't there one on the outskirts of town? Some of the townsfolk talked of an old woman who made healing potions.
Oh.
I'm not sure she's capable of those types of spells.
Potions are one thing. Raising the dead is easily several levels beyond my own in my order. It's devastating to see these laid out like this. It's
For now, I'll...
needless loss. Scott, Wiley, does Jacob know of any high-level priests around, either in his order or that he just ran across in his travels?
You're
Nearby,
confident. You're confident that you could probably find someone in Waterdeep through your channels.
Yeah.
You don't know one firsthand. Andrew, thanks for the bits, my friend. And Chris, thank you for the resub, buddy. It's 2 more +2s for the party. You're confident you could find somebody, but you don't know them. But yeah, you've heard of such things. You know that it comes at some expense.
Yeah, that it does.
You can talk to the town master and the families if some of them may not want this for their family members, but we can at least provide them the option if possible. I'm sure I can have a chat with the town master. We have some gems and things that we have not spent, I believe. We can also put towards it.
Yeah. How far is it, Scott, to get from Phandalin to Waterdeep? That's several days travel.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me consult the map here.
I'd be willing to pull my own resources to help. I don't have much, but I have some gold if that's what it's going to cost.
Well, one of the divine magics I hope to attain soon, cough, level 5, is wouldn't help in this situation. It's been more than a minute, but to revivify requires some fairly pricey pieces. Lots of diamond that's of high value, 300 gold at least per. It's not an inexpensive thing. I'm not sure villagers could handle that kind of an expense.
Does it have to be a diamond, or can it just be 300 gold?
It has to be a diamond. It's the focus for the soul to return to the body and bring the body back to a state of living animation, if you will. It's
I think I have something. Not sure its value, but
well,
a focus, an arcane focus. I'm not sure.
Yes. The next more powerful one that gives us 10 days is the raised dead. That's among the more advanced spell work that our clerical monastic order can bring forth. It's more expensive again. It's diamond of 500 gold value.
Well, you said we might be able to find someone in Waterdeep, right?
It's quite far away, though.
They'd also have jewelers in Waterdeep, no?
They would.
It's possible we can at least save someone, but what people consider these lives worth is up to them. I'm just a stranger. I can't decide that for them.
No, this is true. And some valuable people have been lost. There are not many people in this town. I'm sure that we have the butcher's apprentice to take on the butcher's role when he can no longer raise cleaver to meat. We have 2 wood carvers here who provided furniture and toys. It seems trivial, but replacing these people is not the point. They're part of an ecosystem here.
I'm gonna walk away and grab the nearest person, and not trying to be personable Ezra. She's just gonna say, "Go get the town master now," and kind of shove them in some direction.
Yes, of course.
And return.
Yeah. They head off to find the town master.
I was under the impression that Phandalin was in ruin. Well, how long has this town actually been successfully here? Does anyone know?
I think Ezra knows, but Ayla doesn't remember.
It's been about 4 years, between 4 and 5 years that they've been repopulating.
My map is severely out of date. I was coming here expecting to find ruins, and there are people. That both complicates and helps my situation.
Depends on what situation you thought you were coming to.
Well, I was told there was a shrine of ruins to a divination god, which I needed to find, and I was just going to be passing through here as a landmark. The fact that there are people here means there's a waypoint, there's a place to sleep, there's food, and it's closer to the ruins that I need to go to. I just expected there to be more problems. And there are different problems, as you find with the living.
Yes. Well, not to overly inflate his ego, but apparently Ethan is the divination god.
Something tells me that's not quite right.
You may be right.
Ethan's something. Where is he?
He's
He hasn't got himself kidnapped or something, has he?
Toblin goes back into the inn and brings you a coffee, Ethan, and a couple of lukewarm scones and some butter.
Thank you, Toblin. And Ethan will sit at his favorite seat and he'll start eating his scones and drinking his coffee, and he'll have his spell book out and he'll be looking down at it.
While all that's going on, Tanner's going to walk back into the tap room. I'll have probably like torn a bit of the like a little corner of fabric off one of the bugbear's outfits and be wiping them, like cleaning my blades with it, and kind of look around, and I'll see the only person here. I'll kind of walk over, plop down next to him by the fire, and I'll toss the bloody rag into the fire, and I'll go, "Wow, this wasn't what I expected when I came here."
I'm not doing readings today, so you can sit somewhere else.
Okay, great. I'm just new to town here. I came in search of a great seer. I don't know if you know him, if you've heard of him.
Again, I'm not working today.
Right.
So you can sit, over there at one of those tables.
But do you know if the seer is working today?
I'm not working today.
His name? I'm not sure who you are, good sir, but I'm looking for the great seer Ethan.
Well, my name is Ethan.
Wow, it's very close, but not quite.
Well, then I suggest you sit somewhere else. Perhaps you'll find the one you seek.
But you look lonely.
No, I always look this way.
Toblin wanders up. He's right. He does.
Ah.
Can I get you anything? Tanner, is it? Yes?
Yes.
You could probably give him a different table.
By the way, you mentioned before that the dwarves told you of a profound seer or visionary or something. Yes.
Yes.
They pronounced his name incorrectly. It's Ethan.
Oh.
And it's him.
Oh.
And he points at Ethan.
Just as I foresaw. You did find your man after all.
And I'll kind of look at Ethan. I'll kind of stand up and kind of pull Tobin to the side. And I'll go, "Sir, it's been a bit of a trying time here recently. Is this really time for jokes?" Are you serious? That's...
Are you speaking
Ethan?
to me?
No, I'm speaking to Tobin.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
Oh, no. Okay, well, so if I accidentally grab Ethan's shoulder and pull him off to the side,
he's clearly Toblin is clearly a little shaken by the day's events.
I will go. So, good barkeep. That's really Ethan, the great seer. Did he recently shave off a long flowing beard?
No beard. That's Ethan.
No beard.
Your
That's
dwarf
the
friends, while kindly and brave and stout, they are prone to exaggeration and miscommunication. I can assure you that this is Ethan,
Or
and
they're
Ezra Lynn is your elf maiden.
okay. Well, this is where fate has led me. So, can I get a coffee? It's really cold outside.
Yes, of course. And he
Great, thank you.
steps away to fetch your coffee.
Okay, well then I will go to the next table over from Ethan and just sort of sit and just sort of look at him.
Okay. After
He's just
about 10
drinking
minutes,
his coffee.
the townmaster comes up, and you can see his face is all puffy. You know, it's obvious that he's distraught. It looks like he's probably been crying. Yes, hello. And he sees the 6 town folk there still frozen. We should get them off the street.
Well, we were working on that.
Yes.
Yes. You wouldn't happen to have connections in Waterdeep, would you?
My connection's more in the direction of Neverwinter, to the northwest.
Hmm.
But I think isn't
Would you
is-
happen to know of
Jacob?
any?
You're from Waterdeep, right?
Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
Jacob is incredibly subdued at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point is, we need a way to get to Waterdeep fast in
Or
hopes of finding a cleric to save these people.
He kind of looks around. Save them how? And he walks over and he.
I can basically preserve them like jerky until we can save them.
How? He walks over and looks, and he just kind of covers his mouth, and then he can't. He just can't look at them anymore, especially the child. Save them how? He looks at you with this pained expression.
No, I know him. Speak for a second. There are spells that can stop decay. Men can stop people from being raised by those that are, and she just kind of gives Null a little bit of a side eye that would not do good things with
I see.
bodies.
Okay.
Senior advanced clerics have abilities to raise the dead and return them to who they were and what they were before. But it's extremely expensive, and it's not the easiest to do. No one here has the ability to do it. Ma'am, you obviously need more training.
Yes, we are
We
having
were just
trouble
wondering
staying
if you
alive,
wanted
much
that
less
as an
returning from the dead. You think this could be done?
I've heard of it. I would trust Null's knowledge.
what Null is proposing is to provide these deceased with a gentle repose that will keep them sufficiently intact as bodies, at least, until we were able to procure the services of a very senior member of the clergy to bring them back.
I see. Oh,
It is
okay.
not inexpensive.
Yes, of course. Well, I'm sure that the necessary funds could be raised if the families were willing to have this done. I don't know if this is acceptable. We'd have to talk to the families, and Willie Chopper has no one. He's just here. But Ferd, the Waterfords, Ferd's brother has a family in town, and both of their parents are gone now. But and the bark skinners. I don't know where. I think they came from the forest north of here. Neverwinter Wood. I don't know where we would find. I don't know what. Well, you're a halfling, Jacob. Would it be customary for halflings to wish to be returned from the dead?
We're full of life.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know. So, okay.
And Jacob gives him a half-hearted grin. I think that these people died needlessly, and that your town needs them.
Yes, yes,
and
of
your
course.
Town may want to help it. This is not inexpensive, though. If
No.
you're
Of course we
talking-
will. No, that we will make the. No, I mean I don't know how much coin you're talking, but we're
at
fairly
least
well off.
3,000.
Oh. Let us go and let's move them.
Let's
To
let
this-
Null preserve the bodies if this is the will of the relatives. I think that this is something that we can at least attempt.
Let's get them out of the street. However, and he kind of looks
We do.
around. And,
We do only have 10 days.
yes.
Regardless of whether or not they want these people to be brought back, I'm going to perform this ritual. It's safest,
Yes. That,
and it will put them at rest if that is what they should seek.
Yes. Well, either way, it is a good option.
yes.
I agree.
I think that makes good sense. Thank you kindly for doing this. And he looks up at Noel. Thank you. Let's.
No problem. It's kind of what I do.
Where can we take them?
Kayla's side.
Yeah.
Sorry. Toblin said we can use the stables for now. I think a few people have been back there setting up blankets.
Yes.
And
Okay. Very good.
cleaning out areas for.
Let's move them right away. Then get them off the street. This is just awful. And he goes over to try to hook one of the men like under the arms somehow, and it's very just a frozen block of person. And another
we do
fellow.
want to be careful so they don't break.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
They are.
As someone who knows firsthand the regeneration is possible, I do not know how to regenerate limbs. Yet.
We'll be
I'm
careful.
working on it, but
And he-
the theory is there, but
Okay. And he kind of takes a deep breath and he waves a couple of the townsfolk over to help him, and they all begin to very carefully, lift and carry the bodies. And the bodies are just stiff, frozen. And they take them, put them very carefully, laying them down on blankets in the stable. I could go speak with the families. I would speak on behalf of Willie, and I would, if it were possible, I would also like this to be done for him. Such a wonderful young man.
Jacob was wrong about the price. It'll only cost us 2,500. I'm going to put in all of my money for at least one of these people. For that man that has no family.
I would split that with you. You're so generous.
I have no need of this money. It hasn't served me very well yet. So, my job is to bring people back. My job is to honor life, and in order to do that, I need to see that these people get justice.
Yes, of course. Yes, let me then go speak to the Waterfords to see if Ferd's brother would be amenable to this arrangement. So you do how? So 10 days. Why just 10 days? Could you do this again in say 9 days, and give them 10 more days?
I've never tried. I've only successfully done it for 10 days. Greater wizards than me would probably be able to pull it off, but I can only guarantee. I'm not quite sure what will happen to the bodies after 10 days if they are not resurrected.
I see.
I believe decay will rapidly speed up in some cases. I've done some experiments. I don't want to bore you with the details, but
Yes,
10
yes, of
days
course.
is most likely our limit.
Very well. Will you get busy with perhaps? Yes, perhaps we, given their current condition, being frozen, that you might wait until they become thawed. And that might take a
I do
day
need
or
them to be a
two.
bit looser.
And then that would give us like maybe a day or two before you do the thing, and then that would give us maybe 12 days. And if we
I
pack
cannot
them in
guarantee that that is going
sawdust,
to be effective.
we could pack them in sawdust. That's how we keep ice. We bury it in sawdust, and it stays frozen for weeks.
The longer the bodies stay frozen, the bodies still can decay. It's just slowed. What I'm proposing is complete stopping of the decay process. We need to thaw them quickly so I can get to them,
Okay.
so I can perform this ritual as soon as possible. Treating them as if they are just blocks of ice might not be wise.
Okay. Well, you'd certainly know best in
I
these
appreciate
matters.
your thought.
Would you? We could. I'll have the stableman fetch some wood, and we'll get the fireplace in here roaring, and we'll get them as warm as we can quickly.
That'd be best. Hopefully, this flame roll weather will assist. But
It shall be done.
we don't know if that dragon's coming back.
Yes. No, we do not. Very troubling. And he steps out. He comes to Jacob. Jacob, yes. Is there a particular faith, particular priest we might consult? Like you mentioned you worship barbarianus. Yes, my apologies.
Brandobarus. Don't make
Brandobarus.
me smack you.
Yes. Would like a priest of Brandobarus be proper, or is there? I'm going to dispatch a rider to Neverwinter.
Certainly. A higher order of my clergy would probably be available. Sorry, Wiley, I'm just trying to scour my brain as to who the life domain deities are in Faerun.
Lathander.
Lathander. Yeah, okay. So, a priest of Lathander may be more accessible. Brandibarites can be hard to find sometimes.
Very well. I have a means to communicate to my partner, my colleague in Neverwinter, and I will dispatch him to the Temple of Lathander there, so that someone may be gathered up and be brought back immediately.
Okay. If you can find someone, that would be helpful.
Very well.
What say you about this latest attack of the dragon? It's
Stunning. Daylight is such that it is. And bugbears. What
Clever.
do you make of that? Were they
It's coincidental.
serving
Maybe.
him?
Maybe too
Sure.
coincidental. Almost like if they were serving it, it would be something akin to being almost playing with this. But this wasn't really a serious attack. It was just more to show its power.
Yes,
I'm
I
just
would
concerned.
think it could do more if it wished.
It certainly would have been able to. It could have wiped this town off the map. It's very troubling, and I'm very saddened to see these poor villagers
But we
gone
can
before their time.
save them, right? You said yourself they could be saved.
Yes, with time being a limiting constraint, Null's ritual will help. It will extend the time by a 10-day.
I think we have ample time if such a priest is in Neverwinter. It's a little over a day's ride if my rider goes quickly. And as I said, I can communicate message ahead of the rider so that by the time the rider reaches Neverwinter, they're ready to get a fresh horse and send another rider back with the priest.
Well, by all means, send the message and find out if a sufficiently powerful member of a clergy, any clergy, is available and willing. You can use the raising of the dead up to 10 days after the person deceased. The repose that Null will provide extends that by 10 days. So we technically probably have around 20 days, but with each passing day, we're pressing the amount of time that we have will be smaller.
Well,
and it will require more effort to persuade the soul to return to the body.
Well, I must speak with Barnabas to
speak away by all means.
See if he wishes for Ferd and Berta and Reese to be restored to life. So let me go take care of that.
Not much time on this.
Yes. Very well. And he kind of shakes his head and heads away quickly to the east through town.
Right. Jacob will find an accessible peak somewhere, a tall point on a house or the roof of the inn or something, and sit up there and sort of look up at the sky half wistfully and mutter under his breath, "Lariel Silverhand, if you're watching me, and I hope you are, we need your help." Knowing, of course, as a player that's never going to happen, but wishful thinking never hurt anyone.
One might try.
One might try.
How are you getting up to the roof of the inn?
I'm halfway decent at acrobatics.
Okay.
Not particularly skilled, but I can try.
Let's go ahead and have a roll on that. I'm just curious to see how that goes.
Nothing could possibly go wrong there.
Nothing.
That's not bad, actually. If it's acrobatics, it's 23.
Oh, yeah, that'll be just fine. Okay, yeah, so you have no trouble scrambling up a couple of down pipes, climbing up. Yes, so anybody who's outside the inn will see Jacob and Townmaster Wester talking in earnest, and then Wester heads off quickly eastward, actually southward, and then turns the corner in front of the town hall, Townmaster Hall, and heads eastward as Jacob climbs the in and sits upon its highest gable. What are the rest of you doing? Null, you're treating the bodies. Ezra, what are you up to?
I think once everybody's been moved in and is fairly stable, Ezra's gonna move in back into the bar. She's probably gonna look for food at this point.
Okay. Some of the patrons
Or at
have
least check on.
returned. You see Tanner seated at one table, maybe looking a little like maybe his feelings are a little hurt. Kind of side-eyeing Ethan as Ethan sits. They each sip coffee. Toblin is seated on a stool behind the bar. His swords are out of their scabbards, and he appears to be sharpening the longsword. It looks like he's cleaned them. The service staff are taking care of the few patrons that remain. When you come back in.
Yeah, she'll go over to Toblin and just you fought very well.
You did as well. Thank you for what you've done here. Kind of clears his throat. Clearly shaken by what's happened. Could I get you some stew and an ale?
Yeah, yeah. I'll be over with himself.
Very well. I'll bring it to you.
And she'll just kind of awkwardly pat his hand.
He'll kind of
And,
clench.
She'll go over and she'll plop down next to Ethan.
He'll clench your hand and give it a good squeeze and nod. Well met again. It's good to see you in action. If I'm being honest, it was good to be in action again. Was starting to wonder if
rust off.
perhaps I'd lost my way, but clearly that's not a concern.
And she'll go, like I said, she'll go sit down, plop down in the seat next to Ethan.
Muted.
Muted?
Yeah, there you go.
My traveling companion. What's everyone doing outside?
Did you not see or hear?
I saw the battle. I was involved.
Yeah, so people are taking care of the aftermath of that.
Well,
And people are mourning their families.
well, that was certainly unfortunate. I know where the dragon is.
What?
I know the dragon's location.
She's gonna go to the bar, get her ale herself, down it, come back, sit down back to Ethan. Okay, tell me everything.
Well, if I had a map, I could pinpoint it.
We're gonna put a pin in that. I'll be right back. We're gonna do some planning. And
I think before we plan too much, we should remember our agreement when we faced the were-rats. And our agreement was we would deal with the were-rats, and then we would go to the Temple of Savras. I think that should be our next stop.
I understand your interest in getting there as quickly as possible, but that dragon just came to town and killed 6 people. This is not a big town. Those people are important.
And what good would it do, my traveling companion, if you and I and Jacob went to the dragon right now and he killed 3 additional people? That would solve nothing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think
You're not wrong.
that one of the things we really need in this fight against the dragon is knowledge. And I believe we can find that at the Temple of Savras.
You know. By the way, before all this shit went down, we had 3 applicants for joining us.
Well, I see you've been busy while I was taking my extended nap.
Yeah.
It seemed to me, and maybe I didn't see it correctly, the battle was fierce and all, it seemed that one of them may have stabbed you.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
speak highly of the level of our recruits. And one of them, I believe the really tall one, might be a necromancer.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to deal with. It's better they're with us than not.
Well,
We can keep an eye.
I always believed that to meet a necromancer, one would have to go to the bowels of some abandoned temple, or to the local cemetery where they dig up bodies and create whatever. Necromancers are not, they're not highly regarded
And
in
she'll
the
kind
world of the arcane.
of kind of just like point to the scars on the left side of her face, like, yeah, I kind of got the hint. But she's proven useful this far, and like I said, it's better we keep an eye on it than not.
Well, useful how?
She's helping the people who are out there, and she said a few things that well, I've been fulfilled before. We know this, but I'm saying keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Well,
It's
That's-
best we
that's
keep
hard.
Null with us for now.
that's hard to argue with. It seems like it's our luck that we attract people so interested in death.
Interesting's the right word for it. And some people need to work on their aim. And she'll just kind of over and look right at Tanner, just like, and she'll flex her bicep a little bit, which will reopen the small wound, just trickle of blood. Just
Yes, I banned him from our table.
just for today. After today,
Well,
we have to be
But we'll
people.
discuss.
People.
Perhaps we'll discuss that later.
Yeah. I'm
But
so
that's where I
tired.
think we should go next. I think we should pay the temple a visit. A temple of Savras, if this is true, is an extraordinary, extraordinary discovery.
It's possible. We'll get things arranged and we'll talk to Jacob. And we'll go from there. We'll figure out what to do. But there's a few things we need to do before we even think about
We
leaving town.
we certainly want our cook with us.
Not to mention the healing that he provides, which
Right.
the food's nice, but the healing's better.
Yes.
And entertaining him, all that, but the healing's nice. I could kind of use a little of right now because of someone's bad aim.
Yes. Then that's why he's banned from the table.
Um,
Mostly the reason.
Bugbear blood is rather slippery, remember? It's one of the more slippery of the bloods. Just saying.
I think
Oh,
that
so
Never
real.
had that issue.
at this point, I'll come back and I'll come up to Ezra. I can help with the arm if you need.
Yeah, you're a cleric?
My teacher taught me how to heal rudimentarily with herbs and a kit. No magic, but I can help.
I appreciate the thought, but I'm pretty sure Jacob might be upset if he didn't get to heal me because, we're close, we're buds. He's very protective about the people he cares about.
He's the jealous type.
But thank you. That's appreciated.
Suit yourself. Do you need healing, Stabby?
Oh no, I'm quite good. I took no injury at all in that fight.
Shocking.
I did kill 2 of them.
I wouldn't know. I was nearly blacked out a vast majority. Which brings me to my
Interesting
next
strategy.
Yes, it's been a while since I used a blade, and that's another reason why I'm offering medical aid in perhaps exchange for help. You're clearly competent in battle, Ezra. I was wondering if you could teach me how to. I've neglected that part of my studies.
All right, I can teach you a few things with one agreement. You stay at the back until I tell you can go forward.
The back?
As in, when we were fighting, you stay back with Ethan. You do not directly engage our enemy. If you want to be taught how to use a sword, I will teach you the way that I did before, the way that I was taught. I am not a nice or kind teacher, but you will be proficient when I am done.
I have mixed feelings, but mostly agreeable. Yes, I will stay in the back.
Fine. We'll get started soon. And you just kind of see like Ezra, the sort of tough soldier side of Ezra just kind of phase a little bit, because when you asked that, she kind of flipped into it. And she just kind of relaxes back again a little bit.
I have a lot of self-evaluation to go through after that. Just gonna sit down with Tanner. Be like, I guess this is the new kids' table.
Fertility, but we are very close to the main table.
Something tells me you're going to have to be kept on a leash.
I don't know what you mean.
I have a chain. I could literally mean put you on a leash. It's 10 feet, so you would get 10 feet of glorious movement. But perhaps you've learned from stabbing people who we are now working for.
Bugbear blood is very slippery. We've covered this. You know, the dwarves told me this was a very friendly town. I'm starting to think that they were not very truthful with me.
Well, the town may be friendly, but I'm not from around here, so you won't get such friendship from me so easily. But I don't feel the need to kill you, so I feel like that speaks something.
And a tiny voice at about the 2.5 to 3 foot range pipes up. We've had enough death today. Yes, Roland, are you okay?
I got some friendly fire.
No.
She'll say it again, point towards him. It's like, yeah, I could use a little.
That can be dealt with summarily. And Jacob will walk up to you and press his hand to your wounded side and heal up 11 hit points.
Cool, she's almost back to normal. She's just a little bruised now.
There you
Much
are.
better, thank you.
So the town's master seems to feel that he can possibly find a member of the clergy of Lathander from Neverwinter. Supposed to have a messaging capability. I don't. I wish I did. I could send word to the people I know in Waterdeep. We've got 10, 20 days if we were to use the raising of the dead. Null, they overheard that you were going to pay for at least one of them, which is very generous. I can certainly contribute as well. I don't know how much money the town master has, but the cost is something, and it's not just money. It's they must be gems. They must be diamonds. Yeah.
I'm gonna can I check to see if my arcane focus is somehow magically a 300 gold piece diamond?
Yeah. What are the options?
It just says hold on. It says for arcane focus. Where is it? It just says crystal. An arcane focus is a special item designed to channel power of arcane spells. A wizard, sorcerer, or warlock can use an item as spellcasting focus. It didn't really say what it had to be, so I thought maybe I could roll a percentile die and risk it.
Yeah, roll me a percentile die.
Yay! Dice. 25.
Okay. It is a diamond.
Worth 10 gold.
Do I know how much it would be worth, or would I have to go to a jeweler?
I mean, you're confident it's definitely worth some coin. It's a fine diamond.
I hold it up. Would this do for one of them, do you think?
No, it's too small. Sorry. It's a nice thought. It seems important to you.
Not really.
Okay.
I sort of found it.
Oh.
I was told that it could be helpful as a focus, but honestly, if it's not bone, I can't really channel anything.
Oh. I see.
Hence the tooth pulling from earlier, if you noticed.
Oh, we can pull it in with the resources.
Sure.
I've got 100 gold I can throw in.
Van Felt enters the tap room, soaked to the bone, comes to the table, sits down, kind of Well, the ballista device is quite the mechanism. It appears that the gnomes, strange creatures that they are, did score 2 hits. Quite a fine piece of equipment by my reckoning, although I'm more of a expert with bow and arrow, but I would say that they've built a fine mechanical ballista.
Yes. It's unfortunate the rate of fire doesn't seem to be as good as your bow.
Not likely.
Perhaps they need to make one that fires multiple missiles at once.
I did suggest that, and they set to work immediately, as gnomes are prone to doing.
Good. That'll keep them busy for a while. Although the town master may find his purse depleted yet again. Assuming the town master is funding these ballista.
He just kind of shrugs.
Well.
So, what are our next moves? We have to hurry up and wait about the possible resurrectionist.
Yes, it will take time. We have limited time. And we still need to find gems of sufficient quality. Now, Wiley, one thing I want to ask you mechanically, the spell says specifically for Raise Dead that you must have a diamond of at least 500 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Would you allow multiple diamonds that add up to 500 gold, or does it have to be as
No,
the spell?
the gem itself would need to be a 500 gold piece diamond. But you know that oftentimes included in the fee would be the cost of a diamond. Like these people who practice this sort of magic usually have the components on hand. So you would essentially be reimbursing them the cost of the diamond and then whatever they charge.
Plus their time, plus their travel. This is going to be a lot more than $3,000.
Seems to me that raising the dead, it seems to me, is a pretty powerful thing for a priest to have to do. And I would imagine that it's not a volume kind of thing. Like they don't do 6 at a time, I wouldn't think. I guess my point is that helping these people, that's nice. But it seems to me that we need to figure out a solution to the greater problem, which is the dragon itself, or we'll have a town not littered with 6 bodies, but with many, many more than that. So I think our efforts should be focused on solving the problem and not securing the services of a priest who probably can't help all these people anyway.
Well, 1, you never know. 2, have you ever lost anyone you care about?
I first of all, I know. And second of all, we need to focus on the problem at hand.
There are many. I agree that the dragon is the problem. I don't understand what the dragon has particular focus in this town, other than that it's probably the biggest burgeoning settlement near what I assume is its lair. But that dragon could have devastated this entire village. And it chose to play with us. There's no question that that dragon must be dealt with, but I am not confident that we, singularly or as a group, have sufficient resources to do that.
That's why I believe we should go to the shrine.
Is the shrine populated with many men and women who are willing to take up arms against a dragon?
I believe the shrine is populated with orcs, which we should deal with and then see what knowledge is in the shrine. Perhaps there's something there that could be useful to us. But a dead dragon won't kill more Fandalanians.
Fantastic.
No. For someone so young, your heart seems very black.
Get used to
I
it.
prefer to call it pragmatic.
There's a difference between pragmatism and being cold towards life.
No, I think I'm pragmatic in that I'm trying to prevent more life. I don't think there's anything we can do for these 6 unfortunate souls. Perhaps, if things fall our way, we could do something for one of them. But who chooses? Who chooses which one lives?
The caprice of fate. Nonetheless,
One
makes you
life is
think-
worth saving.
What makes you think Savras, the Temple of Savras, has knowledge that will help?
Well, I think that as far as I knew, until very recently, there weren't any shrines to Savras left. The fact that there may well be one, I think is worth checking out.
While I agree with you there, it is purely for my own selfish reasons. I know that you may see saving one life as an unnecessary use of resources, but it's what I have to do.
I'm afraid we're wasting our time.
Well, while we wait for someone to get here to help us, the shrine does seem like the next best step. It's not a waste of time to at least try.
There's no reason for us to sit here idle.
Israelin, has at any point the town master talked of evacuating Vandalin? This is obviously not a new problem.
No, I'm not 100% sure. We haven't discussed it. We can certainly bring it up if needed. But settlers tend to be very
Strong-willed?
yes, that's a good word for it. Strong-willed when they decide to settle somewhere and take back a piece of land or the such. So
Oh. Fighting the occasional band of orcs is one thing. This dragon is big.
Well, perhaps we've bought ourselves some time with this dragon. I mean, it was injured in the attack. The gnomes hit it twice.
Perhaps, but I suspect we did trivial damage.
Well, we may have convinced it that Fandalin's not the easy target it thought it was. So perhaps it'll stay away for a little while.
Didn't it get a bugbear meal out of our scuffle?
mm-hmm.
I believe one of them did get scooped up.
If anything, all it got was dinner and a show. It's going to come back.
Speaking of the bugbears, there's also the mystery of why the bugbears were here, and why they had chose that time to attack the Stonehill. Was there something here they were after? Or more importantly, what did they have against Toblin?
Yes, he seems like such a lovable creature.
Their arrival did coincide with yours.
That's pure coincidence, I hope.
More coincidentally, the dragon appeared as they were launching their assault.
I just believe we've bought ourselves some time.
Well, I hate to say this, but I'm in agreement with the cold-hearted boy that we should check out the ruins.
As you all are talking, the door to the tavern opens, and in comes Townmaster Harbin Wester. And he closes the door and goes to the bar and has a conversation with Toblin while you all are talking.
Can I try to listen in?
You can try. You can roll perception, but there's a few other tables of patrons talking and eating and clanking and.
Give it a go. 18.
Okay. So you kind of listen, and it sounds like two men that are resigned to a deep sadness. There's like they're kind of going back and forth, almost like they're trying to decide something.
I can, my feet, I have the observant feet. I can read lips.
Oh dear.
Okay. Whose lips will you be reading?
Well, whosever I can see. Whichever one's facing me.
Okay. Toblin is facing the tap room. The townmaster's back is to you. And he, very clearly, as you look at him, he looks and says, "No new taxes. Read my lips." That's not what he says. Not gonna do it.
That was very good, though. The younger
He says, it looks like he says, I think we should do it if it's possible. But what about the dragon? So your sense is they're probably having a very similar conversation to the one the party's having.
Well, I think. How long will it take to get to the shrine? Do we know? A day?
I don't know that we know the exact location. We have a general idea of where it is.
Same here. Well, the closer or the sooner we go, the better, because right now the inaction could be sealing this city's fate. And I will not watch another town become a tomb for its people.
What business would a necromancer have with a shrine of Savras?
I'm not nearly drunk enough for you to be asking those questions. I don't know you. I don't pretend to understand your motives. I have business there. That business might have just changed.
Well, I was unaware, as I said until recently, that any shrine to Savras still existed, survived.
I've heard rumors of the shrine because I'm looking for answers to something that happened to my home a very long time ago, over a decade ago. Someone suggested I find my answers there. That is why I wish to go.
See, Ezra? She seeks knowledge, just like we do.
Uh-huh.
This is why we should travel to the shrine.
And while y'all are talking, Toblin and Townmaster Wester come to the table. Wester kind of looks at you. May we join you?
Please do.
And they each grab a chair and pull it over to the table. And this Townmaster says, Barnabas Waterford would like us to try to revive whatever it's called, the family. I have spoken with my man in Neverwinter, and they are going to seek out the services of a priest, healer, whatever is necessary. I don't begin to understand all of this, but I explained the situation, and we are I suppose a political subdivision of Neverwinter, and we are under their care. And the ability to confirm the existence of a dragon is enough for them to send us some aid and to invest in the return of our villagers, their citizens, if you will. So they're going to try and find the necessary priests for the whatever it is that you do. And he looks at Null just very blankly. It's just very obvious this guy doesn't know what it is you're planning, but he hangs his hopes upon it. So I believe the matter is settled. I've dispatched a rider to accompany the priests, whatever, back. I think that Neverwinter will also send us arms to help us with the dragon, but that will take some days to muster. Perhaps some additional ballistae, some archers. But I do not know
Helpful.
what that will do.
Well, it's better than nothing, I suppose.
'tis.
Well, it seems that this issue is resolved then.
Well,
And we can continue our thoughts on moving towards the shrine.
Kind of looks at Ethan. Toblin looks at Ethan. Toblin says, "Shrine, you say? What shrine? Something that will aid us with the dragon?"
Perhaps.
And Harbin Wester says, "Well, what shrine? What shrine do you mean?"
Well, we've heard rumors that there's a shrine to Savras. Do you know him?
I understand the story, if I understand it correctly, and Toblin kind of holds his hand up to stop the townmaster. Yes, I believe there's still the ruins of a shrine along the road to Tribor, south of Conyberry. Do you know the story
Oh, do I know the story of Savras?
of the shrine?
I do. No. Tell me.
It seems that these priest-seers, he says a little skeptically, looking at you, in the shrine many, many years ago, foresaw a barbarian horde attack upon the village of Conyberry. And a number of the townsfolk chose to flee and seek refuge in the shrine. And the story goes that they took most of the gold from Conyberry. It's a town maybe the size of Phandalin at one time, on the outskirts of the Neverwinter Wood, a jumping off place for hunts and mine expeditions, much like Phandalin. And the story goes that the barbarians did, in fact, sack Conyberry and slaughtered all those who chose not to travel to the shrine. Sadly, however, the barbarians tracked the villagers who did flee and found them and waylaid them and sacked the shrine.
Can you provide us with the exact location of this shrine?
I could draw it out, yes. It's probably 2 days march from here, the most.
Do you have a map of this area?
I could scratch you out something. Just give me a little time. It's east of here, along the. You just go out north of town and head east on the Tribor Road.
Maybe you can scratch this out as well, I don't know, but I need a map so that I can pinpoint the location of something that I know.
Oh,
Map of the surrounding region is what he's asking for.
let's see. I could. Yes, let me see what I can find in my things. It's been a while since I've looked through all of that, but yeah, I could perhaps mark the location of the shrine.
That would be helpful. Very helpful.
Yes, very well. Let me see what I can get for you. Yes. You know, the odd thing about that's been a number of years, but it's said that the gold from the village was never recovered.
This is the part where we go, ooh.
Well, gold, of course, is always nice, but I am looking for something more valuable than that within the shrine.
What might that be?
Information, knowledge.
I don't know what could be bought with words, but I know they're valued by some. Let me see if I can find that map. Does anyone need anything else to eat or drink? And Van Felt orders a glass of wine.
I'll just have water, please.
I'll have some of that wine as well, Toblin. Thank you.
Very well. I'll get the map. He gets up. And Townmaster leans in. Yes, I've heard these stories of this shrine as well, but I do not know its location. Toblin is an honest man. He will help you if he can.
Well, thank you for reaching out to get assistance from Neverwinter. I'm sure the people here greatly appreciate your leadership.
Well, I don't know what to do about dragons and the like, but I know we're in over our heads. Yeah, I mean, even with great adventurers such as yourselves, and we are grateful for you being here to help us. We hope that you'll continue to honor your contract, the Looming Eye, and help us with this dragon. I don't know that they're sending sufficient arms to deal with it, but we'll take what help we can get.
Possible unsettling question. What do you plan on doing with the bugbear bodies?
Oh, and he kind of looks like, wow, hadn't even thought about that. I just suppose burn them. I don't know that they deserve burial. Vile creatures. Did you see that javelin? And his trouser is still torn where the javelin pierced his hip. I might have been killed.
There is nothing worse than being stabbed in the thigh with a javelin.
I found it to be rather unpleasant.
Might I suggest, if you have them, a place to let the bodies rot naturally? They could be useful.
I could have them loaded in a cart and taken outside of town somewhere. Are they, where do these, does anyone know where these bugbears came from?
We have a lot of guesses, but not an answer, unfortunately.
I see.
This area is filled with all manner of creatures like this.
So it seems. We've heard tell of gnolls. Of course, the orcs are all disturbed with the dragon. Even a manticore has come down out of the mountains. Ever since this icy lizard has come to the neighborhood, everything's out of order. Must be ended.
Tell me, why was this town 4 years ago in ruins?
Oh, this town was in ruins for decades. It had been,
Why would you try to rebuild where something didn't work?
well, it's not that it didn't work so much as it was sacked by orcs. It was a fine mining, it was a wealthy little mining community, perhaps too wealthy. And perhaps that's what drew the orcs. Undefended. Too
So
brash.
based off of the track record of this area, did you not think perhaps a military presence would going to be necessary in order to have a lively living situation?
Well, I think we believe it to be necessary now, and it's on its way. But again, this has just been
Yes.
a little more than an encampment for several months, and it's just grown in the last year to year and a half.
I just worry about history and being doomed to repeat itself. Perhaps some more forethought next time might be
Well,
in order.
It was laid waste centuries ago. Many generations have passed since the orc horde swept across these parts.
Yes, well, town sieges can be much like wildfire. Unpredictable, sudden, and the casualty is great.
Yes, well, it's
I'm sure.
clear that we need some greater protection, but with you here, with the looming eye, this is a significant addition. But yes, I think a standing defense is in order, obviously. And a much better response to the arrival of a dragon. I take full responsibility for this. We can't have people running here and there and screaming. We need a warning. I tried my old horn. That was a piece of garbage. Stupid. Maybe a bell.
Perhaps watchtowers positioned.
Yes. A bell or two, or a better horn, or something. Early warning system, yes. If only a grating tone could be generated that would raise the hackles on the back of one's neck. The most inopportune moment.
I imagine those two gnomes, Fiddle Faddle, and Dipple Dobble,
It'll stib and dabbledop.
could probably
Yes.
construct such an early warning device.
Yes, I'll see to it. Well, so you mean to make for the Shrine of Savras in search of knowledge?
Apparently. Apparently, that's what we're doing.
I see. Well,
That was our arrangement.
how, what do you think? 4 days? 2 back, 2 there, 2 back? 5 days, perhaps?
Assuming we live through it.
Is pessimism common in this organization?
It's been a day.
Yeah, I don't remember most of it, what with the being nearly concussed and murdered.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been a day.
Do all of you have what you need in order to undertake such a journey? Equipment, supplies. We'll certainly provision you, per always.
I do.
Very well. Well, perhaps when you return, or shortly thereafter, we will be joined by some help from our patrons in Neverwinter.
can only hope.
Very well, to better days. And he raises his goblet. And I
Cheers. I just raise my cup of water and chug it and be like, smooth.
And again, I'm so grateful to the looming eye. And it's... Are you... He looks at Null and Van Felt. Van Felt kind of shrugs, looks over at Tanner. Are you in the group, then? Are you part of the looming eye?
They're on probation.
Yes, we are.
Just gonna say that.
I was
Missionary.
too.
That wouldn't be super secret double probation, would it?
I think it's more than that.
It's ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet, then.
Whatever that is.
Very well. Well, I bid you safe journeys. Come back quickly. And I hope you find something that can be of some help.
I have no doubt we'll find something.
Did we ever get that map?
Toblin has gone off to find something for you.
Because I know Ethan won't shut up about it until we get a map and put a pin in it. We'll find out the dragon's actually just been circling over above us,
For an hour.
at least.
Yeah. Or it's fucking with us and Ethan will end up drawing a smiley face based off of where it's been flying.
Etch a sketch style, yes.
This entire time, Ezra's been kind of watching Ethan closely. It's kind of like a slightly skeptical look to her, but more along the lines of just listening. A little suspicion there.
Then, do you have any great divinations of why those hot bugbears would have wanted to kill Toblin? They were clearly here looking for someone. Logically, it just makes sense it would be the innkeeper.
Sure, you were banished to the other table.
It could be the innkeeper, it could be the great Ethan, who may have been described by dwarves to the dragon, or the bugbears. Who knows? Who knows what darkness lies in the hearts and minds of dwarves?
I'm sure Ethan would know if the bugbears were here after him.
Well, coincidentally, he was still in his fuzzy bunny slippers when he came downstairs.
I
I
believe
feel
Phandalin is shrouded by evil. It surrounds us.
He infuses us.
That all the time, Ethan.
I'm gonna lean into Tanner and be like, I think you're putting a bit too much faith and trust in a 19-year-old.
Oh, he's only 16.
What?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
he just looked really young for his age.
We're listening to a teenager.
Yes, you are.
I have a lot of internal thinking I gotta do. A lot of questioning things today.
Well,
I have not been alive for decades to listen to a teenager. I was a teenager. We're stupid. God, we're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I nearly died so many times as a teenager. I fell off a wall and it was like Humpty Dumpty. I almost could not be put back together. I have a scar just across my skull from that.
And you
Because
almost died yesterday.
I
Or
almost
a few hours
die.
ago.
I almost die a lot. It's kind of my thing. It makes you appreciate life a lot.
I'm sure there are reasons why The others have made him the leader of the band of the Looming Eye.
Wait, who says he's the leader?
Nobody.
Is he
It's-
not the leader?
It's clearly Ezralin.
We are a party of equals. We take everyone's voice equally. This is not a command chain. I'm not doing that shit again. We all have a
Sit in
say.
this commune. Okay.
It could be worse.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'll scooch my chair a little closer to the other table.
Well, when should we leave for the shrine?
On the morrow. I don't know if there's actually enough time to reasonably start traveling today, Wiley. With all this discussion.
You could.
I am tired and hurting. Ezra does not want to do that.
Yes. Well, I'm down on spell slots. So.
Well, that was a DM answer, not a. That was out of game.
Yeah. As was the question.
We should probably take at least the rest of today to prepare and rest. I am very damaged, and after this ritual I performed on the townsfolk, severely lacking in energies.
You can ritual cast that, by the way.
Yeah, but don't you still have to use a spell slot for that?
Not if you ritual cast.
Really? Oh, okay. Well then, I'm still lacking in spell slots because I'm an idiot that tried to do stuff and it failed. But like,
Yeah, but you could still cast it. It just takes much longer.
oh, okay.
I think it's 10 minutes plus the time it takes to cast a spell.
Yeah. Still new to this whole wizard thing. I'll figure it out. But yeah.
Anything that's got a little R beside it, you can ritual cast, which means you don't have to have it.
Yep, right there. It says as a ritual. Nice.
So, yeah, you don't have to worry about spell slots in that case. It just takes longer.
So
Well, I mean,
as you all are talking, Toblin comes out and unfurls a map and lays it out. And I'm going to put it in Discord so that the party can see the map. And I'll let Ethan kind of take over pointing out things on the map. But let me get the map into Discord and then onto I'll get it in Discord. So that you all can see it.
This is fine.
everything is fine.
All right, so the map's up in Discord. I'm going to pull it up so it's on the stream. I'm going to cover up Ms. Misery. Now I'll just leave it right over the middle. So look on Discord party, don't look on the stream. Because the map on Discord is the player map. The DM's map is what's on stream. So Ethan, if you want to explain to the party based on what I shared with you.
So, the dragon. The dragon's lair is, and he'll point to the map on the map where into the Sword Mountains. He points to where the M in the mountains is, in the word mountains, which I don't know is actually on the map probably. But he points 2 hexes north of that M on the spine of those mountains. The dragon's lair is there.
How do you know this?
Lair
Says Town Master.
or where it stopped?
I touched the dragon's mind.
What? How?
He does it with sheep every so often.
You are more powerful than your years would indicate.
Well, that's where the dragon is. I don't suggest Townmaster, that anyone go there right now.
Oh, of course not. It's the last place any of us wish to be.
And I believe the shrine of Sabras is along the Tribor Trail. The town of Coneyberry that was sacked is on the Tribor Trail at the southeast end of Neverwinter Wood. And see this road here that heads south from the woods?
Mm-hmm.
The shrine of Savras is in the foothills 5 miles south of that town. So the town is on that little road coming out of the woods. The shrine is 5 miles south of that.
Supposedly.
Tobalin looks over at Null. Oh, it's there. Do you think the gold from Coneyberry may still be there?
Perhaps. The last we heard, the shrine was overrun by orcs.
Well, the story goes that the seer priests helped them hide their gold in plain sight. There's never been tell of anyone coming out of there with any treasure.
I have a feeling if the orcs are there, it's not going to be for gold.
I suspect the orcs came there looking for a new place to live. I think they were chased out of the mountains by the dragon. At least that's our working theory.
What of these bugbears? And Wester looks over at Toblin, and Toblin's like, they seem to be led by the largest one. But I don't know why they would. I mean, nothing's ever been so bold as to try to attack Phandalin before.
They were specifically attacking your inn. Have you ever wronged a bugbear in your past?
No. Can't say that I have.
Then I have nothing.
That is so odd.
Yeah.
Well, we had heard earlier that there were gnolls massing in the
Crypt Garden Forest.
yes, Crypt Garden Forest. That's unusual as well. Perhaps. I mean, they must be gathering for a reason.
Perhaps they too are planning to amass against the dragon.
Or they plan to march on Phandalin. Perhaps these bugbears were a scouting party.
For Knowles? Toblin kind of looks at you funny.
Pretty piss poor scouting party to come running into a town, making a lot of attention drawn to you, and asking, "Where is he?" in a really deep and booming voice. I don't think they were scouting.
They were looking for somebody, though.
Yes, undoubtedly the mighty Ethan.
And Wester raises his hand, kind of sheepishly. Maybe they were looking for me as the leader of the town. They did if you recall, it's only been hours since I was skewered by a javelin right in that doorway.
Yes, I do recall. I was there too.
I think it went through me, and he kind of reaches around behind. It was terrible.
You might want to go home and get a change of pants.
Well, there's been so much to attend to, but yes, of course. I think it was me they were after. If you recall, I was trying to alert everyone with my horn, and they were chasing me up the street. They came in from the east, right past the townmaster's hall. I'm lucky I got here.
If they were chasing you all the way from the hall, I think they probably would have gotten you if you were what they wanted.
Well, I clearly outran them.
Yeah, but you didn't outrun their javelins.
I almost made it in the door.
I just think that we don't have all the facts.
No.
So sitting around and talking about it isn't going to fix anything as of yet.
Agreed.
I'm gonna go see how the bodies are thawing because I still have work to do. Just gonna excuse myself from the kids' table for a brief moment.
Okay. So you head back to the stable. Van Felt kind of pushes his chair back and stretches. I think I'll join you if that's okay. I need to stretch my legs.
Sure, I mean, if you aren't shied away from ice cubes.
Not at all.
Yeah. Or how are they thawing? Are they like, because I know, I mean, with the summer weather, and hopefully someone has set up a fire to help.
Yeah,
thaw
you
them
go in
out.
the stable, and it's warm in there. Man, there's a fire roaring on the hearth. The stablemen are in there sweating, and the bodies are starting to soften a bit. You feel like maybe by the morning they'll be thawed enough to take care of your ritual.
Good. I'm gonna go over to the small child, and I'm gonna take off my hooded cloak, which kind of ruins the Reaper look, but I'm gonna wrap the kid up in my cloak and leave it there until morning.
Okay.
So then you just see this big sort of like lanky, doofy looking person with a lot of skull tattoos. And surprisingly, she has hair. She's not completely, like, she has her side shaved and everything, but she has sort of a white mohawk thing going on.
Nice.
But everything from the bare part of her shoulders, you can see there's like some bone tattoos of like collarbone and shoulder, but from spine up to the back of her head, there's this spine tattoo, and her whole face really does look like a skull. It's a little unsettling, and I'm not sure how Van Felt would feel about that.
Deep fascination, undoubtedly.
Probably like, cool, are you in a band?
Van Felt decides to stay and keep watch at the stable outside. And by the time you leave from checking the bodies, he's seated on a stool, his bow across his lap, an arrow laying across the bow, and it looks like he's carving something from wood. Doesn't look up when you leave, just sits and carves.
Well, I return back to the kids' table, sans cloak. And just sit down in the chairs that are probably too small for me anyway. Well, Van Felt's gonna keep an eye on everything there.
So, Ethan, what time do you foresee we should leave in the morning?
Patients are really not my area of expertise.
We'll be leaving shortly after sunrise. This is just getting yourself ready and sleeping.
If you have time, Ezra, we can train. Unless you'd rather not.
You see, Ezra has some dried blood on her. She's got a nice bruise forming. It's like, yeah, might as well.
Yay! This'll be a fun bonding experience, I'm sure. Oh wait, bonding experience. There we go.
Are you sure you want to do this now? Because if we get on the road and I hurt you, tomorrow's gonna suck.
I'm in constant pain on a pretty regular basis. I think I can take it.
Challenge accepted. Come on.
Oh, what? Okay.
And she'll take Null outside, just go through some basic techniques, see what their skill levels actually are.
That is questionable.
What will Jacob, Ethan, and Tanner be doing? It is getting on into the evening. There's probably a couple hours before you want to tip down for the night for your long rest.
I think Jacob's gonna take a quick meal and retreats to his room and spend a lot of time in prayer and meditation and then sleep. Just questing out to Brandabaris for guidance as to how to deal with dragons, how to possibly restore the dead, though it's beyond his capability and he knows it. That sort of thing. A lot of hopeful thinking.
It takes you a while to feel as though you have the ear of your deity. But the sense you get, you don't hear a voice or see a vision or anything, but as you sit and meditate and think on the events of the day and the events of the coming days, the thing that you kind of come away with is to focus on that which you can control and be hopeful about that which you cannot. What about Tanner and Ethan?
Well, Ethan would be pretty excited. He'd be like a kid on Christmas Eve, thinking about seeing this shrine. So he would stay seated at the table near the fire, drinking his wine, and he would take his book, his spell book out, which is part of a his spell book is really a prayer book to Savras that he uses to add, and he adds pages to it for his spellbook part. But he would be reading over the prayer book part excitedly, thinking about the different prayers and hymns that are in the book and trying to figure out whether they had any meaning that perhaps he had missed before in the dozens and dozens of times he's read over these things. And that's what he'd be doing.
While he's doing that, Tanner will be kind of sitting now, apparently alone at his table, or is no at the table?
No left with Ezra to go
That's
sword
right.
practice.
So probably kind of tap my fingers on the table a little bit, look around, kind of lean over to Ethan. Are you doing any readings right now?
You are fairly observant. I, in fact, am reading right now as we speak.
No, readings. visions? Open for business right now, or you busy?
Well, I am pretty busy,
Okay, so not now.
but what is it that you want? Let's get it over with so that I can return to my very important business of reading and preparing for our upcoming journey.
Ah, our journey. Yes, I like the sound of that.
I don't mean our journey.
You said our journey. So I came here seeking out the great Sir Ethan.
Well, you have found him, so well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Dwarves were good for something, at least. So, what can you tell me?
Well, I foresee
Yes.
that someone doesn't like you very much.
Really?
And in fact,
Can you see who?
there's more than one of those people. In fact, it's fair to say that you are surrounded, nay, shrouded, by people who don't like you.
That's interesting. Why do you think Toplin doesn't like me?
Are we done now?
So you don't know why I was seeking you out? You didn't see me coming?
I don't care.
Well, at least you're honest. No, I'm searching for someone. A one-eared halfling in possession of a green jade amulet.
A halfling?
Yes, with one ear.
Tell me more. Tell me more about this halfling.
He's a thief. He did steal this amulet from my father, Talon the Beardless. You've heard of him, right?
He sows chaos, this halfling.
Yes. He stole this.
He appears
Yeah.
when you least expect it, this halfling.
So, will I be expecting him to appear soon?
Ethan would start to look around, look up, his eyes moving around. Tell me more about the halfling. What does he look like?
He has one ear. He's about halfling height. And he's in possession of a green jade amulet carved in the likeness of a sea bass.
When this halfling
Yes.
took this amulet from your
Yes.
father, did this
Yes.
halfling befriend your father?
He served on my father's ship before he betrayed him and stole the amulet.
He earned your father's trust,
Yes.
and then he took the amulet
Yes.
and disappeared.
Yes.
Ethan looks down at the ground. His eyes are darting around, and he speaks in a language that you probably don't speak. But when he speaks the words that he speaks are cold. And if a language could sound evil, it's this language. It's guttural, it's harsh, and he speaks words while looking at the ground. And then he looks back up. You seek Dremnor.
No, his name's Jasper Surefoot.
No. You seek Dremnor.
Dremnor. That's not what he was known as when he served on my father's ship.
Well, what's your name? I can't remember.
Tanner Seawalker. Son of Talon the Beardless.
Tanakin Skywalker, listen to me closely. You seem like you have some ability in the art of deception. And I might suggest to you that if one wanted to befriend someone with the purpose of stealing someone's sea bass shaped amulet, they might do so and give that someone a false name, because when they disappeared, they wouldn't want to be tracked down as easily. Dremnor is the halfling you seek. That is his name. And I must tell you that Dremnor does not work alone. He has a partner.
Go on.
Paranon. He is an elf, a caster of some ability. He assists Dremnor in his endeavors. It is Paranon and Dremnor that you seek.
Really?
Now, I'm going to give you one more piece of free advice.
Oh, excellent.
Listen closely, because
I'm listening.
I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay.
Go away.
Ah,
And then he returns to his book and continues to read his book.
I understand. You need time to recoup your magical energies. Excellent. Perhaps you will have more visions as we travel together to this temple of Salisbury, whatever way.
I have no doubt that I'll have additional visions.
Excellent. I look forward to our adventures.
And he goes back to reading.
And I will order dinner and with the waitstaff, and then I will turn in.
Okay. I would like to award each of you an inspiration for that little gem. That was, and I almost hacked on a potato chip. A couple different spots there. You almost broke the DM. Null and Ezralyn, do you need to RP any of your training? Suffice to say, you're outside
we
training.
Can.
Just Ezra's putting Null through her paces and not holding back. So Null's probably gonna be in hard shape.
Probably like one level of exhaustion bad.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of talking, just more along the lines of like Ezra really testing her and just driving her back into the ground or to the wall or down, or just getting an actual gauge for skills.
Nell's just like severely questioning some life choices right now. But she's also like, I like being stepped on, so I don't know how to deal with this. Don't know how to deal with this situation I find myself in.
Yet another one, Shannon. Gideon, yet another one.
Well, haven't we already established this?
Yeah, that's true. All right. That's it basically. I don't think there's much talking, so.
Yeah, just Nell might try to ask a question, but she's like out of breath and dying, just trying to keep up. So like, probably no talking.
Very well. Glad you're getting that opportunity to get some beat down training. Jacob, before you retire to the upstairs, perhaps you just had found yourself out catching a little bit of fresh air, maybe having a smoke, whatever it is you do before you go in for the evening. But Van Felt would have seen you and approached you very kind of sheepishly and quietly and asked if you might be able to help him with a bit of medical needs, any healing possibly. He took quite a shot of cold, and he shows you like his arm and up the side of his face. It was kind of covered by the cloak earlier, but you could see where he's been really raked by the sheets of ice spikes and bits that blew in the window when the dragon breathed upon the front of the inn.
Right. Okay. I'll oblige with some cure wounds. Let's spend the first spell slot, first level. That's 10 hit points back.
Oh, perfect.
Is he looking better?
That's what he was down.
Yeah, there you go.
He digs in his pouch. What could I offer?
Save it. We'll call it something that can be paid forward at a later date. Keep
Right.
my height intact. I'll keep yours very pretty.
Yes, I will certainly do all I can to defend you, repay you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he just kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and pats it. This Vanderbras seems good then.
Yes.
Very well.
Well, on the morrow, we'll be going to someplace new for a few days.
Indeed. Rest well.
You're welcome to join.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
And he returns to, he's kind of taking turns with the stableman, so he will also be able to get his long rest. So if everybody wants to hit the long rest button, we will
Yes.
assume that everything went.
Full spell slots.
Woo-woo.
Did anybody give like temporary hit points during combat last session?
I gave them to myself,
Okay.
but I think they expire.
Gotcha. All right. So we're going to call that a long rest, and you will start your journey at dawn's first light in the morning, and you'll be making your way toward the Shrine of Savras. And I think that is a great place for us to pull up stakes and call it a night, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Oh, fine.
All right.
We're
Fine.
once another 4 hours.
Whew. Well, this is nice because we couldn't get Van Felt with us tonight, so he'll be able to set off with you, next week when we head to the Shrine of Savras. So let's go around and do some quick outros. We'll go ladies first again. So Kayla, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I play a lot of D&D. That's it. You can find me on Twitter as Misery_. I'm active there, and I'm active in Molly's Discord, and that's about it.
All right, awesome. Let's go across the top row here. Jacob, Dave.
Hey, I'm Dave, play Jacob. You can find me, Hey Wilson, on the internet. I play here Wednesday nights with this lovely group, and new and expanding. And I also play on Wiley's other stream on Mondays, where I play Gears, a Warforged fighter. And this Friday, in fact, I would encourage people to join us if you can. It is early in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning for another stream that we're doing a special one-shot as part of a larger fundraising for St. Jude's Hospital. And Wiley will no doubt talk about that as well. So that's this Friday at about 8 or 8:30, I think it is.
8 a.m. Eastern. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, very good.
Tolling the bells.
All right, giddy on the inside. I love that.
Yeah.
Gideon, I was playing the Gay Disaster Null. And I'm giddy on the inside across all the internet, and I'll also be in that charity game on Friday. But other than that, I'm just here right now, getting back into gaming after a 3-month sabbatical.
Yeah.
Yay! Which is why I just want to keep playing.
Glad you've made it back.
It's good to be back.
All right, excellent. And bottom left, Tanner.
I am Carl, Carnage on Discord. I don't exist anywhere else in the internets. Play here on Wednesday nights with this fine group. Getting back into the role playing after I think 20 years, where I did regularly play with the esteemed Mr. Ethan. So, and I'm glad to see that I'm winning over the party. So,
Ever so slowly.
yes.
At
Still
about
progress.
the pace at which the bodies are thawing, actually. Yes. Okay. Ethan.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris. I'm WikiVA in Wiley's Discord and on Twitch. My Twitter handle is below. I am here on Wednesdays, and I am nowhere else. This is the only place I am, and it's I've been playing in this game for not quite a year, but it's been a blast, and I'm really enjoying this game. It's a great group, and can't wait to see what happens.
Awesome sauce. All right. I'm the Wally Hobbit, and I thank everybody for hanging out with us. Real important thing around here in our community is, just everybody being okay with wherever they're at. Obviously, mental health, wellness, being good and positive is helpful, but it's okay if you're not okay. But if you are struggling, I did post some information about Jasper's Game Day, about the suicide prevention line. So if you are struggling, please make use of that resource. And if you do wish to help people who struggle with mental health and suicide, you can donate at the link in chat. Love to have you join our Discord. Wonderful, chill community. Lots of cool, fun folks like the group you just saw play D&D for a few hours. We do have a game coming Friday morning, 8 a.m., part of a 36-hour Greyhawk mega stream fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Hospitals. We're hoping to pour $5,000 into their coffers, playing D&D over about 36 hours. So we're really excited to be the kickoff stream for that. Again, 8 a.m. Eastern on Friday. Dave and Gideon will be in that game, and then a couple other folks from the Discord community. So we do play on Monday nights, as mentioned, 7:30. And then we have a new Greyhawk game coming, probably going to kick off on February 28th, Sunday at 1. So keep an eye out for that. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out. And we're going to wrap this thing up. And we'll see you Friday morning. And thanks for hanging out. Have a great night.
Bye.